Hi friends! So what we're gonna do today is we are gonna be making a project that is inspired by dots. But before we get to the dot part of it, we are going to do kind of a drawing activity real quick, and then we'll do the second part of it. What you're really gonna need for this project, for all of it, is you're gonna need some scissors, a glue stick, something round. I have a stencil, but you could use like a bowl or something simple, or something that you could trace and get a perfect circle out of. And then you're gonna need something to like color with, whether that be oil pastels, coloring pencils, anything like that. So you're gonna need half a sheet of white paper and then a piece of paper of color. So if you don't have any colored construction paper at home, you could take a coloring utensil and just color all of it, so you can kind of use that as your colored sheet. So I pre-cut my half sheet of paper, but if you hadn't, what you do is you'd fold it in half, where it's long ways, like this one, you'd fold it in half, bend it, and then cut it. But I have pre-cut my paper beforehand. And it's gonna take up half of your image. Mine takes up a little bit more, but that is a-okay. I kind of like it. And really, we're gonna focus on this white sheet of paper first. So we need to decorate this. And how I recommend decorating, we want it to be kind of abstract. And to me, one of the best ways to get an abstract piece of art is to use music, like to turn on like your favorite song or something to get inspired and listen to the music behind it. So I have some cool like hip hop jazz music playing that you may be able to hear, but you can listen to whatever you like, as long as it's appropriate and mom and dad is cool with you listening to it. And then you're just gonna color. So I want a solid background maybe, or half of a background. And so I'm gonna divide mine and just color how I want. We're not trying to color anything that looks like anything really. We're just kind of getting a background color first, and then we're gonna design on top of it, or however you think it should go. I want a two-toned background, so I want one color here and another color here, but it is up to you what you decide. I'm putting mine down with coloring pencil so I can get a good texture. If you notice, I'm going all in the same direction, so whenever it's done, it looks, it has straight lines. If I wanted to make it a little darker, I can push down. This is if you're using coloring pencils. It works for almost everything though. Okay, so I have my blue down. Like I said, if I wanted it darker, I could go like that over it, cross hatch it, but I don't quite want to. I'm gonna take yellow as my second color, or I'll take green. So I'm gonna take this. Maybe I'll do 3 colors, because I have green already in my background. So I will do yellow. All right. I'm just bearing down so it's colorful. If you had it already colorful, another colored piece that you wanted to use, you could use that as well. It's up to you, and then you could draw on top of it. So once I have it drawn, I'm listening to the music and kind of thinking of different things. I'm just gonna go in and draw some fun shapes on it. I'm gonna try and use up colors. So I'm going in with some color pastels on top of it to give me some fun like texture on it, so this looks a little bit thicker than the background. Really whatever works for you. And then I'm just making some fun shapes. I'm not doing anything too crazy. We're gonna do something with this too, so don't worry about if it looks kind of silly. So. I'm a big fan of leaves and flowers, so I may add a couple of those through it. It's really whatever you want. We're just going for the abstract, which leaves really aren't, but sometimes you can add a little bit of recognizable. Okay. Okay, all right, and then this is kind of cluttered, so I'm gonna add something over here just to kind of balance out my thing. See, I have a lot of swirly lines. I don't have as many of these, so I may add some shapes. Add some dots. And really, this can be as crazy and as busy as you want it, or as just kind of simple. I'm adding a lot of color. You don't have to add that much. I just like color on mine, and I'm feeling kind of wild today with my color. Okay, all right. So I kind of hung out for a little bit. We have our piece of art, okay? And peek at this. All right, the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take your thing that's a circle. You can draw it on the front, but I would flip it over on the back for a second and draw your circle. So you may need a pencil. If you wanna use like your coloring pencil, that's fine. I'll use my black since I don't have an actual pencil near me. I'm just gonna trace it. And this is where it may get a little tricky. You may have to have an adult help you, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it just a little, and we're gonna cut a hole in the center, or in the center on your line, okay? We're trying not to bend our paper too much, all right? And you're gonna follow that circle. It's okay if we mess up a little bit. We don't wanna cut into our circle because we're gonna use it too. We're gonna use all of our things. So we're gonna try really hard. But if we mess up, that is a-okay. All right. See, I messed up right there, but I'm just gonna round out my circle a little to where it looks like it makes sense. So when you get it done, you're gonna have this fun, crazy piece, and then you're gonna have this one as well. And what we're gonna do next is you're gonna grab your paper and you're gonna put it down. And before we glue anything, we wanna put it on there and make sure it makes sense. So I'm gonna put mine there. And I want mine to kind of look like it's still matching. So it would be kind of like that, I think. But it's really, you can turn it however you want. And this is where you'd add the glue stick part. So if you've never used a glue stick before, what you can do is just glue the back. Okay. You may want to glue it so it doesn't mess up. I kind of messed up on mine. That's okay. I'll just flip my paper over. Kind of lay that where it is. And then this one, I think, went like that. As long as it's not dry yet, you're good. Beautiful. And then I'm going to glue my back off screen a little bit so I don't mess up. Or I'll move that. But I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just kind of getting those edges. So going around the circle and going around my edges. You don't need a crazy amount. You just want to make sure those edges are down. Okay. So next thing, we're going to take it and we're going to glue it on our page. Just like that. Okay? All right. So when you get finished, you have a crazy fun piece of abstract art. I may want to scoop my circle down a little bit. Cool thing is it's not super dry yet, so I can move it just a little where I need it. I may have to glue it down again, but that's okay. So we have our positive and negative space too. So let's talk about positive and negative space real quick. So positive space is like the circle part of it, right? The negative is where the things that would be cut out. So we'll use my scissors for an example. So my scissor is the positive space, right? But the holes like here or here would be where my negative shape would be. Another example of that would be, let me grab some. Another example of that would be my circle stamp. So the circle stamp itself is the positive. The negative would be the hole in the center and the area around it. So positive and negative space is a little tricky sometimes, and we'll work on it a little bit more throughout the semester. This is just an easy first project with it. And it's like a fun little thing. You get to listen to music and you get to make some art. So I'm excited to see your work.